What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another early afternoon in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your Brewmaster-in-Chief, and this afternoon in the BrewLab, coming at you with Maro's teaser. It is finally here. It is quite hard for me to explain just how freaking, excited I am for something that isn't Spider-Man. Basically, like, it is a sign of how bad things have been for me on Arena the last couple months that I'm looking forward to a UB set. But that I have no particular like interest in, I do think Avatar is a great thing in general, but I never really engaged with it. I wasn't a Nickelodeon kid. I think that's when it was like on TV at that time, and then by the time like I got into Japanese manga, which I'm a massive fan of, then I like had somehow grown past Avatar. Is that like a fair thing to say? And like I have watched the newer movie one that came out, like where it was a live action, and it was okay, nothing amazing, just one of those typical like whatever, when they've live action a thing that was probably not meant to be made into live action, like, Lion King or something. It's watchable, but it's not like, whoa. So I'm not like super into Avatar, but regardless, it's coming and it's going to be a fully fleshed out set, not just this weird, I don't know, mini set that then got changed into a full set, the situation that happened with Spider-Man. So at the very least, more thought will have been put into it, and there'll be less, random filler cards like the bagels and the pigeons and all that sort of stuff from New York City. So yeah, like excited AF. And the reason for this video, if you were not able to tell from the thumbnail, is that Maro has put out his teaser. And this is always a great time in any sort of hype cycle for any sort of a set, where you know that shortly after this, spoilers begin, and then shortly after that, early access and fresh new cards on the client. So without further ado, let's jump into Maro's teaser. Bam. Here we are. And this time I swear to God I'm going in blind. Like I was at work and I saw it on X and I was like, sweet, let me go home and record. I haven't even read the first word. So I love to do these like this, because then it's like we're doing it together. First up, I don't need to repeat the whole, like, it's always the exact same copy paste text from the previous announcement. So here are some of the things you can expect. We got a red sorcery that can destroy target land for 1 red. What? Slimy little bugger. He's so sneaky with this. And he does it really well. This, he needs to specify their note. Full stop. Whole new phrase. I'm giving you partial information. He really wants that to be like in our heads before giving us said information. So like, that can destroy target land for 1 red. Does that mean that there's just gonna be a sorcery that says 1 red, destroy target land? I freaking doubt it. There will be some sort of conditions. Is it any land? Will it be basics, non-basics? How do you get that cost reduced to 1 red? There's like, if you and like, it's an incredibly impossible thing to obtain. I doubt it's the sort of thing where a red mage can now play a land on turn 1 and then just destroy your land that you played on turn 1. That's not happening. I would highly doubt that. But still, it's interesting to speculate. Love your thoughts in the comments. Next up, we got some tokens in the set. So we got 1/1 white ally, a 2/2 red soldier. Soldiers I love, but there's no payoffs anymore for soldiers. There's these like tribal anthems, like the oh my god, the Siegecraft engine or something, like Lifecraft engine. The vehicle that's but other than that, there's no like real like, whenever soldier attacks, draw a card. Or, you know, there's none of that anymore. It all rotated out with the Brothers War. So there's still loads of soldiers, but there's no real reason to be playing Soldier Tribal other than like having assaults. Like, it's a little bit annoying because I love the tribe. So maybe this signals a little bit of support coming back. Then we got a 4/4 green bear and a 1. Ooh, it's a pretty beefy token. And then a 1/1 colorless spirit. It's a beefy ass token. You don't often get like big tokens. You know, the biggest one I think we have right now is the demon from the Annex, the Unholy Annex, 6/6, plus like 5, you know, to produce. So this better cost a lot less to make, and have some extra benefits, or it'll just be some draft chaff. Next up, a token first seen in a previous Universes Beyond appears for a second time. Okay, this is about as vague as it can get. Token that was seen for the first time. Wow, that's so broad. It could be anything. I mean, there's been a lot, right? So at this point, we're like on, I don't know, 7th set. This goes all the way back to, I believe the first like official Universes Beyond was The Hobbit. You know, Lord of the Rings. So that's, you know, quite a few sets now at this point. I'm not sure what that could be. Next up, we have a 2-mana Wooburg activation. I think we've already got a few of those. They're never really that interesting. So yeah, who cares? Honestly, like, this is probably just going to be a janky commander card. A spell capable of making 2 different type of copy tokens. Spell capable of making 2 different type of copy tokens. Nice. I really don't get that. If you're, you know, if you're copying something, like let's say a doppelgang, right? You're making copies are copies. There's no types of copies. Am I reading this wrong? Or is he trying to be tricksy again? Spell capable of making 2 different type of copy tokens. Not copies. Types of copies. Type. Different type of... Maybe it's just bad English. I don't know. Interesting, to say the least. Adding like another type to copies, as if, like, you know, a copy token is... It's... You know, it won't get ETB effects often. It'll just create a copy. You know, it'll still follow legendary rules unless it's specifically specified that it doesn't. All that sort of thing. We know what happens with copies. I can't imagine there being another type of copying. But maybe I'm reading too much into this. We've got a card with affinities for allies. Okay, cool. 3/3 creature. I can't remember if, I mean, we did see here an ally. So, well, is that just it? And I think they've already gone into this, and I didn't really do my homework on Avatar set. I think we've already received some information to a little bit of the mechanics and things from some of the early teasers and spoilers. But I don't think allies is like a thing like Outlaws in Outlaws of Thunder Junction, where it's a collection of creature types. You know, soldiers, knights, and humans are allies. And then they have another faction or something like that. It's I don't think it's that. I think it just literally means like ally. There's like, you know, there's gonna be ally as a type, and that's it. It's Please let me know if I'm wrong. I will go and look up again stuff about the set as we get closer to the date. But you know, I like doing these videos. It's kind of just my own way of also going through this. So I hope you're enjoying the ride. We've got a 3/3 creature for blue. Just 1 blue mana for a 3/3. Probably like can't attack or like something terrible. Like otherwise that seems pretty legit. It'll probably be like can't block creatures with flying. Oh yeah, I don't know, something like that. Because that otherwise will be the most aggressively costed. Because we've got one now that's got ward. It's a fairy. I believe that's a 3/3. But it has like stun counters for the first 3 turns or something. Next up, we've got some counters in the set. I like this one because it gives you a little bit more of a hint. Stun counters, we know. Finality counters, we know. Double strike counters, I like that. I like that. Fire counters, this will have something to do with all the bending, right? Like, we know that there's fire bending and earth bending and air bending and all of these bendings. So, I'm surprised that, I guess it's just some. There'll probably be water counters, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. It's not all the counters in the set. But Conqueror counters and Quest counters, that's cool. Man, I can't wait. Like, the debut is about less than a week away, I believe. We'll see here at the end. He always gives the date. Next up, we got a spell that controls target player, but just for one specific phase. Ooh. Didn't we just get a card like that as well in, wasn't it Final Fantasy? Where like you take over the opponent for a turn or something. It's always fun. Like, you know, these types of decks where you do serious jank type shenanigans or just doing something in a commander game or kitchen table magic, but chances that a thing like that actually becomes competitive is pretty slim. However, maybe by it being just one specific phase and not like an entire turn, then the hoops I need to jump through to be able to do this to the opponent aren't going to be A, as expensive, and B, as complex to obtain, you know, to lock in. So maybe, you know, if it's a very relevant phase to control, like combat, for example, then this could actually end up being pretty cool. Like in some sort of a tempo deck, would be a really sweet thing, you know? Instead of a counter spell, you know, your opponent goes to move from first main phase to combat, and then you just cast this thing, take over their combat, have them skip it, or attack, but the wrong thing, or you know, they didn't want to attack, but you had them attack, and then you block with your bigger guys. That could be really cool. Be really cool. Fingers crossed. Anything that adds like new layers and ways to interact with this game is always a good thing to me. Like as long as it's like not boring or like overtly busted just to get you to buy the cards. Red card with a Blood Moon effect. Ay. Hope that's not too busted. We need red to have its usual little like down cycle. You know, these little moments when they make it just a little less strong, and we get to play some mid-range and some other stuff. Because right now, like, it's looking like, as far as I'm concerned, the bans are not too far away, and I doubt they'll ban BB or Cauldron. You're looking at tournament results, Mono Red and Dimir mid-range, and these other various like tier 1.5 decks are winning just enough times for it to be a non-issue. And there'll be a whole new set that comes and shakes things up. I'm ready to bet money that they won't ban a freaking thing. Fingers crossed. Everybody's been so sure it's like VV or Cauldron, and maybe it's nothing. Let's see. Next, here's some rules text. I love this segment of his teaser. Each land and ally you control has. I mean, each land. I think we've seen this card, actually. I mean, There's a buttload of the cards have already been teased or whatever. You can go look them up on Mythic Spoiler. I'll put the link in the description if you don't have if you haven't already used that that resource. It's a great place to go and keep up to date with your latest spoilers. But yeah, giving something to each of your lands is always an interesting effect, you know. So that could be cool. Then we've got to a maximum of 10. Okay, thanks, Maro. Mr. Vagueness. That could leave people guessing for weeks. I guess that's the point. Then, where X is the number of permanents you've sacrificed this turn. Cool for these, Orzhov, Sephiroth decks. They're a bit boring right now. Like, they've sort of just settled on the best possible win con being the reanimate the whole graveyard, raise the past thing. Ping, ping, ping. It's cropping up like a little bit more again now in best of one on the ladder. If you go look at untapped stats, but I don't know. It would be fun if it had like a different cool spell, some other alt win con. This looks like something that would fit in a sack deck, you know? Fingers crossed. Next up, whenever an opponent searches their library. Huh. That's an interesting thing, yeah? It's been a while since, I mean, it's not the first, but it's been a while since we've had a thing that triggers when the opponent searches their library. Because it's not a thing that, you know, happens. In some cases, it won't happen at all. Opponent will be playing a color or that doesn't have much of that effect, or is just not playing that effect in their library. So then, like, it would be a thing where it's a sideboard tool or something. Of course, there's a comma there, so we don't know what the rest of the sentence says. But we've got plenty of effects where it says things like whenever the opponent draws a card, they get 2 damage. I think a shield red or something. That's gonna trigger way more consistently. People are drawing cards. That's a card game, right? But like a thing that triggers when an opponent searches their library seems a bit more like difficult to have trigger. So it'll either be a sideboard piece or a commander card. Then there's more than one opponent, the chances are higher. Or it'll be, that whatever is after that comma makes it relevant in another way that I can't think of. Next up, you may reveal a lesson. This is an interesting one. Especially considering that we're going back to Strixhaven, as I believe is the 3rd set of next year after the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TMNT set, which is it's gonna be Lorwyn, Breath of Fresh Air, Proper Magic. I think that's gonna be super popular, like Tarkir level of popularity. And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then Strixhaven. So lessons. Last time we had lessons was Strixhaven. I personally was a huge fan, so cool. Also shrines. I think, yeah, because of we saw some of this also in the teasers. Shrines are coming back in Avatar. Ooh, I'm so excited, bro. I'm so excited. Like I think it's just I don't know, like it's people off. Anyway, like 5 people watch these videos, but like Marvel sucks, man. Like, it's such a crap IP in general. Like, it was cool when I was 10 and I watched, I used to buy comics, watch cartoons on KTV at Saturday morning. Like, now that I'm an adult and it's been bought by Disney or whatever, and I've been having to live with Marvel movies for the last like 10, 15 years of my life, this slop superhero crap. Like, the 2 sets that I'm least excited for next year is going to be the Marvel thing. Marvel superheroes, just the vaguest, like, just here. Let's have a set where it's just all legends, and it'll be like, ooh, a bunch of superheroes. I can't think of anything more lame than that. And Superman, same thing. And the fact that like the main plane is New York City with like skyscrapers and taxis, and I just couldn't, you know, like I have no problem with the modernization of Magic, something like Edge of Eternities, epic spaceships, bring it on. Even Edge of Etherdrift, Kamigawa, like, you know, we already had like computers, robots, fine with that. Even Star Trek, cool. Like, but this comic book city with superheroes, just. So anyway, random tangent aside, like this Avatar thing is still like taking place in a mystical world with magic and dragons and shrines and ninjas, and you know, like it works. It completely will work. Whereas like the Marvel set that's coming, and you know, the Mutant Ninja Turtles, this stuff, like I really hope that like now they've locked in. It's too late to go back. They've done all the deals. That they're coming. We're gonna have to sit through this decision that they made to sell more cards, and I bet you that already there are people scrambling right now at WotC after the flop that was Spider-Man, and they're going, "Oh my God, no! Turn around!" And I just can only hope that the rest of the Marvel crap and gets like the worst sales ever, and then it never happens again. Fingers crossed. Fingers and toes. I'm crossing my toes. Anyway, next up, for each permanent you own that your opponent controls. Like what? How many times in any given game is your opponent going to control any of your permanents, or unless you specifically give them to them? And like that, we all know how hard that is to do. Like this whole deck's made entirely around that. You know the deck I mean, with two different 4-mana black enchantments that you want to give to the opponent at the right exact moment, and there's a few different ways of doing it. It's definitely not easy. So like, it seems pretty weird that, you know, something that counts each permanent as if like, ooh, I'm gonna get some super value out of having my opponent control a bunch of my permanents. Just don't see it happening. So probably just commander nonsense. Next up, whenever you tap a creature for mana, add an additional green. Ooh. Nice. More rampy. There's so many different ways of ramping. I don't know. Whatevs. Could be cool. Could be really cool. We got that land that was like Gaia's Cradle or whatever. It only sees play in the Kona deck to tap Kona. No one's ever really used it to make a buttload of mana with elves or anything like that. We've got other things already that are better than that. So I don't know. Probably, again, Commander. Next up. Card name has all activated and triggered abilities of the last chosen card. Sounds like some jank potential there for sure. You know, that type of thing like we had with the... It was that Urborg scavengers that would like get the abilities of the creature that it exiled and entered the battlefield or attacked. And then you would just fill your graveyard with things that have like indestructible, flying, double strike, you know, big ass dinosaurs that have like 10 different keyword abilities or whatever. No, it's not. You get that sort of a vibe. Also, by the way, like it's kind of like a little bit like what Cauldron does, you know, but also triggered, not just activate. This could be super trippy. I hope it's a fun card that's playable. So far, like it's just been a lot of like random stuff that I can't guess at, and then like commander looking things. So next up. If you would lose unspent mana, that mana becomes red instead. Okay. It's like a couple of these effects now starting to stack up in standard. We got just one now recently in the Spider-Man set, if that is interesting to anybody. Rebrask, blah, blah, blah. Interesting. Next up, as long as you control 8 or more permanents named... I bet you it's Shrine. I bet you it's Shrine. Oh, it's one of... Remember how shrines, you like want to like, you know, layer them down. And then the more of them you have, the effect compounds. That was a fun time. I kind of hated it, but it was also kind of cool to have that as a deck in Standard. So that sounds like I'm gonna go out and take a bet and say that the Shrine thing is that. Finally, I think, no, yes, this is the, oh no, here we go. Finally is the actual names. These are the creature types. Creature type lines from the set. We've got a cat armadillo, a platypus bear, a boar, elk, bird, ox, okay, a human plant ally, bird assassin, nice, birds, more birds, give me more birds, human warrior performer, human monk ally, a shapeshifter spirit, elder cat turtle, second cat, and then a wall. Legendary wall. I guess there's something like, if I knew more about Avatar, I guess I could guess more about this stuff. Especially this last bit here. Like, ooh, I know Yip Yip. Isn't Yip Yip like the name of the flying Valcor looking guy? Day of the Black Sun seems really cool. Like a black sweeper, maybe. Oh, weren't we gonna get like a thing that cares about... This could, I really, we need a black sweeper that is better than the, you know, we got this new one that is X and 1 black that deals us damage. No good against aggro. We got the deadly cover up, which is great, but it's 5 mana and, you know, it's great. It's just a good sweeper, but something more modal, cheaper, potentially with more, you know, like black has had a bit of a crappy sweepers lately. It would be nice to have something decent, maybe at 4 mana. Yeah, the 4 mana black sweepers are just terrible. Enter the Avatar state. This is gonna be some sort of a crazy freaking... I mean, we've already seen the spoilers. Isn't there one where, like, Ang... Again, I don't know enough of the story. Isn't he called Ang, the main character, and he becomes, like... He can channel all the 5... Or bend all of the 5 elements or something, and then he becomes, like, the 5th element. It's gonna be a sick card. Firebending lessons. Sounds like a Boros card. Gather the White Lotus. But yeah, this will be one of those lessons, you know? Ah, my god. Cool, cool, cool. Like, it'll be really nice if they have some cross synergy between this set. I mean, it's for sure why they're doing it. And Strixhaven early next year. Gather the White Lotus. Probably an artifact. Probably taps for mana. Gran. Jasmine Dragon Tea Shop. Tap, make a food. Enters, make a food. Something like that. Could be cool. Wonder what dragon tea tastes like. Is it dragon tea? Or is it the Jasmine Dragon? And then it's just a tea shop. The Meteor Sword, probably an equipment. Then the Unagi of Kyoshi Island. Blue Serpent. Gonna name it. Gonna call it the Unlucky Cabbage Merchant. I hope that's a playable card. We're gonna call him UCM. Or just like Cabbage Boy. And then Yip Yip. So, okay, and the debut is on the 28th. So, I'm recording this on the 22nd. So, 6 days to go. Woohoo! Hallelujah. Let's please leave the plane of New York City and let's go to Avatar Land. I am so sick and tired of this this Universes Beyond, and I'm looking forward to the next one. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. The links to this, the spoilers, and everything else are going to be down there in the video description. Please sound off in the comments. What do you think? Let's hazard a little guess at some of these sneaky points from Maro. Of course, you can come join us on the Discord community. The link is always in the description as well. No, it's pinned in the comments. And then we can, you know, continue the discussion over there. Things have been a little quiet. I think it's a sentiment, you know, throughout various communities on Discord, online, wherever, you know, when it comes to standard Magic, Arena, whatever, it's been a little quiet because of Spider-Man. So let's get the hype train chugging out of the station. Avatar: The Last Airbender coming your way. Thank you all so much for watching. That is going to be it for this one, guys. Peace, y'all.